1 minute. Please allow me to run fast through whatever we have done. Emerging cyber crimes, we were looking at business email compromise, cryptocurrency scams, cloud-based attacks, and now we are going to look at IoT forecast attacks, hacking as a service, and also ransomware as a service. We are going to pick from where we left at the time, and we actually had covered all these sections, and we had covered even cloud attacks. I said you look at the examples, and now we are going to focus on the second part, and from here we are going to see that the Internet of Things, IoT, combines hundreds of millions of devices which are capable of interacting with each other with the minimum user interaction. The Internet of Things, which is IoT, combines hundreds of millions of devices which are capable of interacting with each other with the minimum user interaction. IoT is one of the fastest growing areas in computing. However, the reality is that in the extremely hostile environment of the internet, IoT is vulnerable to numerous types of cyber attacks. Take note of that. To resolve these, practical countermeasures need to be established to secure IoT networks, such as network intrusion detection systems. These are used to secure IoT networks. And then the Internet of Things is a set of interrelated devices where the devices can connect without the need for human intervention. The IoT is a set of interrelated devices which can connect without the need for human intervention. With IoT, many things that have sensors, such as coffee makers, lighters, bicycles, and many others in areas like healthcare, farming, transportation, etc., can connect to the internet. Don't forget about security. There are various devices within the security industries that can connect to each other through the aspect of IoT. By saving time and resources, IoT applications are changing our work and lives. It also has unlimited advantages and opens numerous opportunities for the exchange of knowledge, innovation, and growth. Concerns over security and privacy regarding computer networks are increasing in the world, and computer security has become a requirement as a result of the spread of information technology in daily life. The rise in the amount of internet applications and the appearance of modern technology such as the Internet of Things are followed with new and recent efforts to invade computer networks and systems. Remember, just as we mentioned in counterterrorism, when we are talking about counterterrorism, the terrorists are always moving with time, and sometimes they are always ahead of the security experts. So we also have to remember that even with the growth of the Internet of Things, also the cyber criminals are also coming up with the new ways, with the new systems on how to invade computer networks and systems. Regardless, the attacks cannot be wholly avoided forever. However, early detection of an attack is crucial for a practical defense. Remember that in security also we say that we cannot defend 100%. There is that little percentage that usually we have to focus on that, but we cannot protect 100%. Vulnerabilities and weaknesses will still exist in the entire security design. In the entire security design scope, vulnerabilities and weaknesses will exist. So it is for us to work very hard to cover these vulnerabilities and these weaknesses. And sometimes the weaknesses emerge with time. You have a very nice protective system, but with time, due to changes in technology, changes of the people who are coming into the organization and leaving the organization, vulnerabilities emerge, and if you are not proactive, then you may find it a challenge to protect the organization. Since IoT devices have low storage capacity and low processing power, traditional high-end security solutions to protect an IoT system are not appropriate. Also, IoT devices are now connected without human intervention for longer periods. This implies that intelligent network-based security solutions like machine learning solutions must be developed. So you see, technology is still developing and protection systems are still developing to ensure that we protect networks adequately. Every security threat within the internet exists within the Internet of Things as well, because the internet is one of the core and center of the Internet of Things itself. Compared to other traditional networks, IoT needs to have low capacity and limited resources and do not have manual controls. Also, the rapid growth and broad daily life adaptation of Internet of Things devices make its security issues very troublesome, raising the need to develop security solutions based on networks. While current systems perform well in identifying some attacks, it is still challenging to detect others. As network attacks grow, remember we say network attacks are growing every day, along with a massive increase in the amount of information present in networks. Faster and more effective methods of detection of attacks are required, and there is no doubt that there is some scope for more progressive methods to improve network security. In this context, in order to provide embedded intelligence in the Internet of Things environment, machine learning (ML) is considered as one of the most effective computational models. Machine learning approaches have been used for different network security tasks such as network traffic analysis, intrusion detection, and botnet detection. As we progress with the course, you will get to understand at a more deeper level the meaning of machine learning, and also the meaning of network traffic, the meaning of analysis, intrusion detection, and the meaning of botnet detection. Machine learning can be described as an intelligent device's ability to modify or automate a knowledge-based state or behavior, which is considered a critical part of the Internet of Things solution. Machine learning has the ability to infer helpful knowledge from data generated by devices or humans. And machine learning algorithms are used in tasks such as regression and classification. Likewise, in an IoT network, machine learning can be used to provide security services. The use of machine learning in attack detection problems is becoming hotly pursued subject, and ML is being used more and in more different applications in the cyber security field. Although many studies in the literature have used ML techniques to discover the best ways to detect attacks, only limited research exists on efficient detection methods suitable for IoT environments. Machine learning can be applied to the attack detection task via two main types of cyber analysis: A, signature-based, sometimes also called misuse-based, and anomaly-based. These are the two ways that machine learning can be applied to attack detection tasks via two main types of analysis. After we have completed that section, let us briefly look at hacking as a service. We all have heard of hackers. Many of us have even suffered the consequences of hacker actions. So who are these hackers? Why is it important to know about them? The next few sections give you the lowdown on hackers. There's another friend of mine who told me, another guy, they used to work together. What he did, he somehow accessed his WhatsApp. He accessed his WhatsApp. He had a hold of his phone, he had a hold of his PIN code, and then he accessed his WhatsApp. So he created another WhatsApp on his laptop where he could see these guys communication, these guys' messages, videos, and everything without the knowledge of the owner of the phone. So you have to be very, very careful. There's a way a person can create another similar account and tap into your WhatsApp. And I hope you know what they usually do, that they can read your messages without your knowledge. You have to be very, very careful in this area. And then defining a hacker. A hacker is a word that has two meanings. One, a traditional hacker is someone who likes to tinker with software or electronic systems. Hackers enjoy exploiting and learning how computer systems operate. They love discovering new ways to work electronically. A hacker. Part one, building the foundation for ethical hacking. Now, there is what we call ethical hacking in this age. Recently, hacker has taken on a new meaning. Someone who maliciously breaks into systems for personal gain. Technically, these criminals are crackers, criminal hackers. Crackers break into or crack systems with malicious intent. They modify, delete, and steal critical information, often without other people's understanding, or without other people's making other people miserable. They hack your system, they steal your information, they use the information to their advantage and to your disadvantage, and they make you very, very miserable. The good guy, who is called a white hacker, don't like being in the same category as the bad guy, who is called black hacker. So black hackers hack systems with malicious intent. However, they are what we call the good guys, the white hackers, or the ethical hackers. These terms come from Western movies where the good guys wore white cowboy hats and the bad guys wore black cowboy hats. Whatever the case, most people give hacker a negative connotation. Many malicious hackers claim that they don't cause damage, but instead are intrinsically helping others. However, many malicious hackers are electronic thieves. An ethical hacker possesses the skills, mindset, and tools of a hacker, but he is also trustworthy. Ethical hackers perform the hacks as security tests for their systems. If you perform ethical hacking tests for customers, or simply want to add another certification to your credentials, you may want to consider becoming an ethical hacker, studying for an ethical hacker certification. This means that you'll be employed in various organizations as an ethical hacker to hack systems, to check the vulnerabilities, to check weaknesses, and to advise the organization accordingly so that these loopholes can be sealed. However, this is a very complex area that needs a lot of advanced computer knowledge, but it is important that you have the basics of this in mind. To hack your own systems, like the bad guys, you must think like they think. It is absolutely critical to know your enemy. To catch a thief, think like a thief. That is the basis for ethical hacking. So ethical hackers use the same tools as the bad guys use in order for them to be able to check for vulnerabilities, check for weaknesses in the entire system, and be able to actually seal those loopholes. Ethical hacking, we continue with ethical hacking. Ethical hacking, also known as penetration testing. Ethical hacking is also known as penetration testing, or white hat hacking. Involves the same tools, tricks, and techniques that hackers use, but with one major difference. Ethical hacking is legal. It is a legal practice. Ethical hacking is performed with the target's permission. The intent of ethical hacking is to discover vulnerabilities, as I've said earlier, from a hacker's viewpoint, so systems can be better secured. It's part of an overall information risk management program that we shall look at in section 7, in lesson 7, that allows for ongoing security improvements. Ethical hacking can also ensure that vendors' claims about the security of their products are legitimate. Cybercrime as a service. Cybercrime as a service, or rather ransomware as a service, exists in the context of cyber criminals in this way. Cybercrime as a service is an important trend in deep web forums because it puts cyber criminal tools and service in the hands of a wider range of threat actors, even the non-technical, such that anyone can become a cyber criminal with minimal investment. At the same time, cyber criminals are now seeing the advantages of expanding their targets from home users to larger enterprise networks. This is a matter that IT administrators need to be aware of. Ransomware as a service means that it is the use of one of the more chilling, widespread cybercrime models today. Victims get ransomware through the internet, and once installed, they hold victims' documents hostage in exchange for money. The fear factor, how it works. In 2015, crypto wall operators raked in US dollar 325 million from individuals and businesses worldwide through this modus operandi. Several ransomware families continue to do so today. You can imagine only in 2015, this was a US dollar 325 million. If you convert this into Kenyan shillings, then you'll start to see how the figure is very high. Once exclusively a home user problem, ransomware social engineering tactics and technical capabilities have since evolved to deep into enterprise network as well. There has been an increase in focus of crypto ransomware on office-related documents such as database files, web page, SQL files, and other file types not typically found on home computers. In an expected but disturbing turn, ransomware are now being sold in deep web forums as service. Ransomware service, meaning anyone with the basic technical knowledge on how to launch these attacks can actually use ransomware to commit cybercrime. What it means for enterprises. This means now more than ever that any file in digital form is at risk. Whether it is a top secret formula for a pharmaceutical company, a list of high-profile contacts for a sales company, or a normal system file that is mission critical to a hospital, a nuclear plant, or an industrial control system operation. Ransomware can affect a company's bottom line, either directly or indirectly, as manifested in lost sales, payment delivery or transaction delays, unfulfilled orders, business process disruption, productivity loss, legal fines, regulatory penalties, and damage to a company's reputation. Remember, damage to a company's reputation far much outweighs the financial loss. The danger is not expected to stop anytime soon. Ransomware continue to grow in complexity, devising new ways to evade detection and impede cleanup and recovery. An analysis of a recent ransomware families affecting enterprises show an uptick in technical modifications that make it more challenging for security vendors to detect and clean up after ransomware binaries. Should enterprises pay the ransom? Kansas Heart Hospital paid the hackers, but the hackers did not restore full access to its files. Instead, they demanded a second payment. So you can think about that. If your organization is struck by ransomware and they are demanding compensation, and your management is at a position where they want to make a decision whether to pay or not to pay. Remember, you can pay the ransom, and then the hackers don't return the files, so don't give you access to the files. So then they demand a second payment. So you can see the complexity of this matter. Solutions. Network defenders are expected to employ best practices against ransomware, including multi-layered protection, data backup and recovery strategies, access control, timely patching, and employee education without compromising business productivity. Cybercrime IT security analysis must understand the value of analyzing the entire ransomware attack chain, from entry points such as malicious URLs and spam, and the use of exploits and various evasion techniques to the ransomware phone home communication, back to operators, strengthening the ability to block these kind of attacks. Further, as network defenders scale up to protect hundreds of endpoints, the different layers of protection must be able to talk to each other, forming a connected threat defense strategy. All layers must have access to a threat intelligence, security updates, and protection afforded by security technologies like advanced anti-malware beyond blacklisting, anti-spam at the web and messaging gateways, web reputation, application control whistling, content filtering, vulnerability shielding, mobile app reputation, intrusion prevention, and host-based firewall protection. Kindly, please, if you get time, check on these things. Just Google, check the information on the areas that I have briefly mentioned as it relates to ransomware. And then also, a majority of today's threats can be detected by the aforementioned techniques. Those are techniques of detecting threats working together. But ransomware are guaranteed to evolve, so enterprises must finally be able to catch zero-day and unknown threats through behavior and integrity monitoring, as well as sandboxing. We have come to the end of this very lengthy presentation. This one was very lengthy because we have covered some of the areas that are very, very, very important to cyber crime and how cyber crime is committed, and in which ways cyber crime is carried out. We started with a business email compromise, and then we looked at also cryptocurrency scams, and then we looked at cloud-based attacks, and then we looked at Internet of Things attacks, and then we looked at hacking as a service, and then we end this presentation by looking at ransomware attacks. I would like you to read the notes that I will send to you. I still have not received the email of your class rep. So can you please send me the email of your class rep? You can contact me via WhatsApp. Ask Chris or Fred to give you my WhatsApp number. Contact me, send me your email, and then we can proceed from there. Again, I would like to mention that if you have any questions, regarding the topics that we are talking about, any question, write it down, put it together, give it to the class rep, let the class rep send to me via WhatsApp, and then I will prepare a presentation in response to your concerns and in response to your questions. So if you have got any questions or any concerns, write them down, share with the class rep, let the class rep send to me. With those few remarks, I say thank you very much. I'm not very sure whether the first recording and the second recording is actually connected, but I'll check in a short while. Otherwise, thank you very much. We will continue from that point when we move to lesson 7, where we shall be discussing about risk management from a cybersecurity perspective. Thank you.